What if the secrets to living past 100 aren't found in the latest health trends or expensive supplements, but in the wisdom of those who've already achieved this remarkable milestone? After interviewing over 50 centenarians across 3 continents, I discovered 5 surprising patterns that appeared again and again. These aren't just theories. They're the tested life strategies from people who've outlived their doctors, defied health predictions, and they're still embracing life with energy and purpose well into their 2nd century. The 4th lesson in particular contradicts everything modern wellness culture tells us, yet almost every centenarian I met swears by it. Mindset and connection. Lesson: purpose trumps retirement. The first striking pattern among centenarians is their rejection of traditional retirement, almost without exception. These remarkable individuals maintained a strong sense of purpose and continued meaningful work well into their 90s, not necessarily for money, but for meaning. Take Giuseppe from Sardinia, who at 104 still tends his garden daily, growing vegetables for his extended family. When asked about retirement, he laughed and said, "What would I retire to? Having nothing to do would kill me faster than any disease." Or consider Mizao from Okinawa, who at 102 continues creating traditional textiles that preserve her cultural heritage. "Each morning, I wake up with something important to do," she explained. "This gives my life structure and meaning." Too many people stop living before they stop breathing. Research from the Blue Zones, regions with the highest concentrations of centenarians worldwide, confirms this observation. Those who maintain purpose, or what the Okinawans call ikigai, live up to 7 years longer than those who don't. For these long-lived individuals, purpose isn't about grand achievements or fame. It's about having a reason to get up in the morning, something that makes you necessary to others and engaged with life. Whether it's caring for a garden, mentoring younger generations, creating art, or volunteering, centenarians consistently find ways to remain vital participants in their communities. The lesson is clear. Don't focus on retiring from something, but rather on advancing toward activities that give your life meaning. Many centenarians never officially retired at all. They simply transitioned from paid careers to other purposeful activities they found even more fulfilling. Lesson: relationships are your longevity superpower. The second consistent pattern among centenarians is the central importance of close relationships. Unlike our culture's celebration of independence, these long-lived individuals are deeply embedded in supportive social networks that provide both practical and emotional sustenance. Marta from Nicoya, Costa Rica, who celebrated her 106th birthday, surrounded by 4 generations of family, put it simply, "No one reaches this age alone. My family is my medicine." What's particularly noteworthy isn't just having relationships, but the quality and consistency of these connections. Centenarians typically maintain regular, meaningful contact with people they care about. They prioritize these relationships above material acquisition or status symbols. Research confirms this wisdom. A landmark Harvard study tracking participants for over 80 years found that close relationships were the strongest predictor of both happiness and longevity, stronger than genetics, wealth, or even health habits. The centenarians I interviewed demonstrated several relationship patterns worth adopting. They maintain intergenerational connections rather than limiting themselves to age-segregated circles. Many regularly interact with children and young adults, keeping them engaged with changing times. They invest in deep rather than wide relationships. Instead of accumulating hundreds of casual connections, they nurture a smaller circle of meaningful bonds characterized by vulnerability, support, and authentic sharing. They actively contribute to their communities through volunteer work, religious institutions, or neighborhood involvement, creating a network of weak ties that complement their closer relationships. If you're finding these insights valuable, please take a quick moment to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us share more wisdom from remarkable centenarians. Now, Let's continue with our third longevity lesson. Lifestyle and stress management. Lesson. Move naturally throughout the day. When you imagine centenarians, you might picture frail individuals confined to rocking chairs. But the reality I encountered was strikingly different. The 100-year-olds I met weren't gym enthusiasts or marathon runners, but they all shared one consistent habit: regular, natural movement integrated throughout their daily lives. Dimitri, a 100-year-old from a mountain village in Greece, still walks 3 miles daily to tend his olive trees and visit friends in the village square. Cars? He chuckled. Those are for the young people who are in a hurry to go nowhere important. Here's what's fascinating. Almost none of the centenarians I interviewed engaged in formal exercise as we think of it today. You won't find them on treadmills or attending spin classes. Instead, their longevity-promoting movement came through walking as primary transportation, tending gardens and growing food daily housework, and cooking from scratch traditional crafts or practical skills social dancing and community games. This natural movement has several advantages over modern exercise regimens. It's sustainable because it's tied to necessary daily activities rather than requiring extra time, special equipment, or motivation. It's gentle on the body while still providing the cardiovascular and muscle-strengthening benefits needed for longevity. The lesson? While any movement is beneficial, the most sustainable approach might not be an intensive gym routine, but rather building more natural movement into your everyday life. Take the stairs, walk to errands, tend a garden, cook from scratch, dance when you can. These natural movements, accumulated over decades, appear to build remarkable physical resilience. Lesson: embrace strategic stress, then truly rest. Perhaps the most counterintuitive finding from my centenarian interviews relates to stress. While chronic stress is undoubtedly harmful, I was surprised to discover that most centenarians didn't lead stress-free lives. Instead, they developed a different relationship with stress characterized by periods of challenge followed by genuine recovery. Hideko from Japan, who recently celebrated her 105th birthday, explained it best. Life brings difficulties to everyone. The secret is not to avoid stress, but to break the pattern with moments of complete rest. This perspective aligns with emerging research on hormesis, the biological principle that moderate, intermittent stress actually strengthens living systems. These forms of beneficial stress include temperature variations through practices like hot baths followed by cool rinses, or spending time outdoors and varying weather, periodic fasting, or eating within limited time windows, physical challenges that push comfortable limits, mental challenges that require focused problem-solving, social risks like speaking up or taking on community leadership roles. What sets centenarians apart isn't avoiding all stress, but rather how they recover from it. Almost universally, they practice daily rituals that activate their parasympathetic rest and digest system. Afternoon rest periods, not always sleep, but genuine unwinding, regular social meals without distraction time, in major spiritual practices like prayer, meditation, or gratitude, digital disconnection, especially before bedtime. If you're still watching and finding value in these centenarian secrets, please comment longevely below. Your engagement helps this video reach more people who could benefit from this ancestral wisdom about sustainable health. Nutrition and mindfulness. Lesson: eat like your grandmother, not like a nutritionist. The final pattern I observed among centenarians worldwide was their straightforward, traditional approach to food, one that stands in stark contrast to our modern obsession with nutritional science, superfoods, and eating by numbers. Emma from Sardinia, Italy, who passed her 100th birthday 7 years ago, laughed when I asked about her diet. Diet? I don't diet. I eat the foods my family has always eaten. Simple food. Not too much, mostly from our land. While the specific foods varied across cultures: Mediterranean, East Asian, Latin American, several consistent principles emerged. Plant-centered meals with animal products as accent foods, rather than main courses. Regular consumption of legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas. Minimal processing, foods made from whole ingredients. Moderate portion sizes with little or no snacking between meals. Eating as a social activity rather than a solo fuel stop. Moderate alcohol consumption, typically wine with meals, though not universal. Sparing use of sugar, reserved for special occasions. What's particularly striking is what's missing from centenarian eating patterns: strict food rules, nutritional calculations, supplement regimens, or diet extremism of any kind. These long-lived individuals maintain flexible eating patterns governed by cultural wisdom and seasonal availability rather than the latest health headlines. Ana Maria from Chile, who celebrated her 101st birthday surrounded by 4 generations of her family, summed it up perfectly. We didn't have nutritionists telling us what to eat. We had tradition. We had grandmothers. The food was simple, but made with care. We ate when hungry and stopped before too full. Nothing special, just normal food. The lesson? While nutrition science offers valuable insights, there's profound wisdom in the traditional eating patterns that sustained human health for generations before modern food processing. These patterns emphasize whole foods, plant diversity, communal meals, and moderation principles that remain sound regardless of changing nutritional theories. If this information has been helpful to you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from these centenarian insights. What struck me most in my conversations with centenarians wasn't just their remarkable longevity, but the quality of their extended lives. These weren't people merely existing past 100. They were fully engaged, contributing to their communities, and continuing to find joy and meaning in their daily activities. Together, their 5 lessons offer a coherent approach to longevity that differs significantly from our culture's typical focus on quick fixes, complex interventions, and isolating health as separate from the rest of life. The wisdom of centenarians suggests that living a very long life isn't primarily about genetics, healthcare access, or even avoiding all risks. Rather, it emerges from the consistent application of timeless principles: maintaining purpose, nurturing relationships, moving naturally, balancing stress with rest, and eating traditional, unprocessed foods in moderation. What makes these lessons particularly valuable is their sustainability. Unlike extreme health regimens that few can maintain for decades, centenarian practices are simple enough to apply throughout a lifetime, becoming not just health habits, but a rewarding way of life. Perhaps most encouragingly, it's never too late to incorporate these principles. Many centenarians adopted healthier practices in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s, and still reaped significant benefits. Your next decision, whether to walk or drive, connect or isolate, cook or order in, is always an opportunity to align with these longevity patterns. Which of these 5 centenarian lessons resonates most with you? Let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss our videos on evidence-based approaches to health and longevity. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.